Hi, my name is Katerina. I consider myself a person of the world because my life is a mixture of different cultures. I was born in Russia, where I graduated as a psychologist. I won a Fulbright scholarship and moved to United States for 2 years, where I got my master's degree in communication studies. Then I married French Canadian, and now I live in Guatemala, where I gave birth to my beautiful daughter Lily. In our house you can hear 4 different languages: Russian, English, Spanish and French, and you can even practice American Sign Language. My passion for orgasmic birth started 5 years ago, long time before I became pregnant. Back then, I was like many of us, even afraid even to think about birth. But I made one of the best decisions in my life. I decided to face my fear and learn about birth as much as I can, because when we know what to expect, we're less afraid. And that was one of the best decisions in my life. Luckily, I had a friend who recommended me to learn about orgasmic birth. I was really amazed what I found in the documentary and in the book Orgasmic Birth. And since then, I always try to share this information with other women at every opportunity I have. And I really think that every woman should know what I learned there, and as early as they can. You may laugh, but I even put Amber, a woman from the documentary Orgasmic Birth, on my vision board long time before I got pregnant. Well, now, I remember that many women were skeptical about orgasmic birth, and they were telling me, well, you don't know what you're talking about, you never experienced birth, and we know better because we had 2, 3, or 4 painful labors. And well, now I'm a mother, and I can talk from my experience. My birth was not perfect, but I really feel that orgasmic birth was possible. I was blessed with a perfect pregnancy, and with a midwife who helped me to give birth to my baby in the calm surrounding of our house. My birth was not perfect. It lasted 24 hours, and even then I barely felt the time passing by, and I barely felt any pain. If I felt, I was very calm, and if I felt any pain, these were moments, not like hours of torture as some women describe. And I think that I was able to have that kind of calm birth because I prepared myself for so long and I had nothing to be afraid of. I believe that every woman has this access to the ability inside of them to have painless births, pleasurable births, or even orgasmic births, and not because they have a better pain barrier or endurance, but because they're armed with knowledge from the beginning of the life. The authors of the book Orgasmic Birth are saying that orgasmic birth is possible because the organs and the hormones that are involved, they are the same as in sex. Well, we all know that there is bad sex and good sex, and there is also another event that is involving the same organs as rape. The same organs are involved, but different emotions are experienced. One is painful and associated with fear, and another one is pleasurable and maybe ecstatic. So, as in rape and in great sex and in birthing the baby, if you prepare yourself to experience pain, most likely you will experience pain. And if you prepare yourself to experience pleasure, most likely you will experience pleasure. It's such a shame that there are very few people who teach about possibility of pleasure in birth. So few people take time to learn about importance of orgasmic life, and nobody teaches us how to enjoy life in school. We learn how to get the skills to earn money or how to obey our governments. Not everyone needs to know chemistry or physics or even painting, but everyone needs to know how to open their own potential, how to solve conflicts, how to be good parents, how to enjoy life. That's why I continue learning about orgasmic birth, and I want to know as much as possible. And when my daughter will be able to understand the importance of this, I would like to teach her about what I've learned. We want more kids, and I keep working on improving my vision for the next birth. So I'm getting inspired by people interviewed on Orgasmic Birth Online Summit and learning through the books. When you can see a bunch of books on my shelves related to sex, another subject that many people never dig into. I can say orgasmic birth is available to every woman, just because every woman, if trained in a certain way, can experience orgasm at her will, even while washing the dishes hands-free. Humans are amazing, but most of us have no desire to explore our potential. We're just busy with our to-do list. We forget that our to-do list will be much more fun to do once we are happy and excited in life. I feel an urge inside of me to share this message with women all over the world, and especially in Guatemala. Here in Guatemala, I'm taken away by the number of women who have C-section here. The rate of C-section in private hospitals here, it's not from 30 to 40% as the United States, it's 95%. I have met more women who had C-section here than natural birth. And then they have one after another, and most of them are unnecessary. My Spanish teacher, 3 C-sections. My neighbor, 2 C-sections. 3 out of 4 women that I met in the swimming class for my daughter had C-section. And there are many, many more who I met just randomly in parties or different reunions. Many of them, they don't know. It's a big business for doctors. And husbands, they trust the wives about the decisions. Wives, they trust the doctors about the decisions. And nobody fights for their own rights. If your water broke and your labor didn't start in 24 hours, it's not a reason for a C-section if nobody put hands in your vagina. The cord around the neck of the baby is not a reason for a C-section. Baby moves and things can change by the time the baby is born. And some babies are born naturally without any problems with 3 twists around the neck. Breech baby is not a reason for a C-section. In fact, the midwife can change the position of the baby, and even the baby who goes with the feet down, they may have the same complication as the baby that was born through C-section. But it's better for a woman, and it's better for a baby to have a natural birth. Yes, there are some C-sections are done from a real necessity, but they are so rare. I feel pain to see how many women are so afraid of birth that they don't even want to read about it. And there are so many women that, because they're so afraid, they don't even want to have children at all. I want women to know that pain and suffering is optional. And I want to learn as many tricks and facts about how to make birth pleasurable as possible. And not just for myself, but for many more women that I plan to meet in person and virtually. Since I'm in Guatemala, I started my own meetup group where I already for 3 years I'm sharing information that is important for well-being, about healthy food, healing practices, effective communication, and many other topics that I think are important for us. I also started a Facebook group for moms in Guatemala where I post different articles related to parenting and motherhood. In the end of this video, you will see a few examples how I have been sharing this information about orgasmic birth with other women for the past few years. I'd like to say I'm not a doula, and I don't plan to become one because I think that birth is a private matter. However, it's been for several months that I'm carrying this idea in my head to organize some seminars for local women to inform them about the possibility of orgasmic birth or pleasurable birth, and I would appreciate every bit of information I can get from the Pain to Power Childbirth class to empower myself and these women. Thank you for your attention.